Hi, and welcome to One Heart Church Online. We are so glad you joined us today. It's just going to be Josh and I today. He'll be joining me in just a minute. So glad you joined us, so stick around. Yes, well, we're here, and I'm glad you are there. And I have got Josh. He is there somewhere too. Where are you, Josh? Are you there with us today?
I'm here. Hello,
Awesome.
Everybody. It's awesome to be with you guys, and we're going to have a good time today. I'm looking forward to it.
It is going to be great. It's everything seems to have worked so far. I haven't had that stressful, 30 seconds. Just as we go to air, something always happens, but it has gone really smooth today, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't thrown enough wrenches into the works for you so that everything falls apart in the last minute.
No, that's all good. We've got a good internet connection by the looks of it too, so that's good. I've actually got my iPad here today because I'm actually going to try and actually keep up with who's actually online. So I'm going to give a shout out to a few people who have already jumped on the Facebook page. That's all I'm looking at the moment. So Linda Hutchison from Australia. Good to have you, Linda, joining us today. Joanna Murley, who's that? Oh, that's my wife. She's just sitting over here. And who else? Lydia's on board. Lydia, good to have you with us. Kai is on board up in Ahmed still, Kai, I reckon. So I hope you're enjoying it up there. I've also got Henny. She's in the actual room here today. I think you video me as well, eh? You're going live too. So we got live going live. So Josh, you got anyone there with you?
No, I'm actually at my friend Chris's house. So, but he's not here. So.
Nice.
Nobody in the room with me.
And no choir of dogs this week. Last week we had the choir of dogs.
Yeah, they don't feel like singing today. I don't know what's going on. Not enough rocks being thrown at them. So hopefully yeah.
And how's your week been? What's been happening this week?
The week has been a bit slower. I went 3 hours up the coast to go fishing the other day and didn't catch anything. I pushed myself really hard to get up there. I had a really bad headache, and I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, I ended up crossing with Christoph on the way. He was on his way up to Singaraja to go fishing, and we had dinner in Chandidasa as I was going back down.
Nice.
He caught a fish like the biggest trevally I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I show you a picture, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did you get to eat it, or you haven't tried it yet?
Yeah, he's filleted it, and I think it's in his freezer. But I'm going to be catching a big fish one of these days. I'm going to be inviting everybody for a big COVID's over. Let's have a barbecue pretty soon, hopefully.
Nice.
With Matt.
Nice. Oh, that's good. Well, we've actually, like every week, we are going to go to a Zoom hangout after the service here, or after our online section here. We're actually going to go to a Zoom hangout. So down the bottom of the screen, as you can see, that's scrolling along there. You'll actually see the room ID, and you'll also see the password to get in. Joe, who's actually here, is going to open up the actual room now. So she's just going to go in there now. So if anyone doesn't really want to listen to us, but they want to chat to Joe, she's going to open up the Zoom room, and so you can go and chat to her. But no, and so we'd love for you to even do that. She'll stay there. I'm just going to look who's online. Kai from Ahmed, yes. He's saying, have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Fantastic, Kai. And so Lulu's on board. Hey, Lulu, great to have you on board. Did you catch Lulu's worship thing the other week, Josh? Did you see that?
I did. That was incredible. It was so good. Lulu.
It was an awesome day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And great song. And yeah, it was really good. Thank you.
So we're giving a big shout out to you, Lulu, because we were so blessed. I think a lot of people were blessed by that video, so it was awesome. So I know you're watching us now, but it's great. So we're going to get right into it. We have been doing, over the past, goodness me, it seems like it's probably 12 weeks maybe, going through Psalm 23, and we have come to the last statement. Last week we had Tristan all the way from the US he was at like 1:30 in the morning. Tristan's chilled at the best of times, but he was really chilled last week. And it was good afterwards when we went to the Zoom meeting. He jumped on board for the Zoom meeting. We also had John and Janet from the UK jump on board. They generally watch us over breakfast. So if you're watching at the moment, John and Janet, it's a big hi to you. Which reminds me, Sarah still hasn't had the baby yet.
Oh, no.
It's 2 weeks over. So I know. So George and Sarah in the UK, we are thinking of you guys, and we cannot wait to hear the news of the new baby entering the world. So a big shout out to you guys. So but we've been doing that. I actually got to say, Vanessa has joined us. Perth, Vanessa, I think you're in Perth at the moment. It's good to have you join us. So it's awesome to have you, Vanessa Joy. But yeah, we've been doing Psalm 23, and it's all about, the Lord is my shepherd, and how the sheep know the shepherd and part of the flocks. My wife had this video come up on her Facebook feed during the week. And before we get into just discussing today's one, I actually wanted to show this little video. It's actually a really cool video. I don't know who made it. So if the person who ever made this video are watching, hey, I appreciate it so much. So thankful that you actually recorded this video. But let me just show this video. Take a look at this.
One more time.
Oh, one is.
Oh, good.
Look at them, look at them.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
They are coming. Oh my God. Woo! Oh my God. I can't believe it. Oh my God. These are nice. Oh my God. This is amazing. One more. You scared them.
Yeah, Eunice made them go away.
Oh my God.
Was that cool or what?
Oh my God.
You will never have the same again.
Oh my God. I can't believe the video.
So
Nice.
there you go. How cool is that? Have you seen that before,
Yeah.
Josh?
No, it's cool. I was watching it on my phone. I never.
But yeah, just the fact that the other guys tried to, call the sheep, they didn't even care less, didn't even respond. But the sheep know the farmer's voice, and they responded.
Yeah.
They were, in some ways it sounded like they were very pleased to actually see the farmer. And so, this is what we've been looking at, really, just this relationship over the past, 12 weeks or so as we've gone through Psalm 23, is the relationship between the sheep and the shepherd, and how David drew from his experience being a shepherd and looking after his sheep to then how he was the sheep being looked after by his shepherd. And so, but we've had an amazing trip, and we've had an awesome time going along. We're going to share a few things about this last statement at the end. We're going to probably jump back and have a look at, just talk about some of the things along the way. And if you're going to catch up with us afterwards in our Zoom room, which we'd love you to do, think about one of the moments over the last number of weeks that's really stood out for you. And when we get into the Zoom room, we'd love to hear you share that with all of us. And so just think about that as we go through. But today I'm actually trying to be really intentional to give a shout out to people who are on board. So Vanessa, yeah, she is in Perth. So hi to you, Vanessa. Jess Conlon has jumped on. So, hey, Jess, hi to you and all the family back there in Australia. I've been catching a bit of your services online. Melbourne Lights there out in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. So good to see you guys. So hi to all your family. Hi to Matt and Elodie and all those guys. So who else is on? Trevor from City Life. Trevor Jones is on. Mate, glad you joined us. Good to have you on board. So I'm actually being really intentional because every other week I never sort of get to do this, but this week I am. So let's go back to the start. The Lord is my shepherd. I'm going to throw it to you, Josh. What is one of the things that stood out to you over this psalm? One of the big highlights for you, or you might have a couple.
Yeah, well, I was able to lead a couple of the weeks, and yeah, it was a great honor for me to be able to do your rod and your staff, they comfort me. It was fun to try to explain that because it doesn't make a lot of sense to people because a rod in the Bible, it has to do with discipline. And so it was fun to go and to explain to people for the first time, maybe if they haven't been in a spiritual family before, haven't experienced discipline, to explain how when somebody in your life contributes to the discipline, how good it is, and how when you look back after many years, you're actually thankful for that discipline. And it's a very rare thing, I believe, in the world today for people to have enough love that they go and they put their relationship on the line to say, hey, this is the way you're going. It's not going to end well. And I've been there. And because I love you, I'm gonna put the relationship on the line so that I can tell you these things, you know.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that, I think it's a really important function of the church, and it's but it's also something that, you know, has to be done in love and has to be shown as love, and it's something you have to take very great care in doing, which the shepherd does, you know. He does in a way so that rod comforts them. And that was probably the highlight for me, is getting to teach that, because I believe it's something that's missing so much in the body, is being able to lovingly discipline people around us in a godly and a family way.
Yeah. Look, I appreciated you jumping on board. You also did the one, He Makes Me Lie Down in Green Pastures.
Yeah.
And I think most people remember the dog video from that one, but that was awesome. So I appreciated you bringing the thoughts even on that and sharing. If I remember rightly, that was when you shared your story about being on the stage. Is that the one? Am I getting the 2 weeks mixed up? But I think that's...
Yeah. I believe it was one of those ones. Yeah.
Were you sweeping the stage? That was like...
Yeah, right. Yeah, the rhythm, and not needing to do everything, just to be embracing of his rest, and just realizing that we don't need to make up for everything that we've done wrong for the rest of our lives. We don't need to live in shame. I think right now a lot of people are living in shame, and they're trying to do their best to make amends for themselves and for their sin, instead of just letting God do it and just pointing to Him as the one that does that. So
and I mean, it's an old Beatles song, and it's, you know, all you need is love, and the world in some ways it lacks so much of that. I mean, there's this righteous, I suppose, I don't know if you call it anger in one respect, but the way it's expressed sometimes doesn't it? It seems a contradiction of what we're trying to achieve, and being able to function with people who have different views, different opinions, different, perspectives on life, and being able to function together and work together in that bond of love, of saying, okay, well, we do disagree on certain things, that's okay. But I tell you what, if your life depended on it, I'm going to fight for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight against you. And so I think the world's lost a little bit of that. I'm not too sure, how you start to bring about that change. But personally, I think it just has to happen one by one. You can't look at the big, okay, let's put something on Facebook, hope it goes viral and everyone changes. I don't think that's how, it's going to change. I think you actually, and it causes you to question how you deal with people. And it caused me to question, how do I respond to people? Like we spoke about last week, what is the legacy I leave behind? Is goodness and mercy, when I leave the room, what do people talk about? What do they say when you're gone? It's like, thank goodness he's out of here, or, no laughing from my wife here, by the way. So, actually, Henny as well.
Josh laughed.
Oh, yeah, so there you go. See the peanut gallery here laughing.
I was just thinking about my dad. He says, like whenever he cries out in anger or something, he'll say, "Mercy sakes." So is that something to say when you leave the room?
Yeah. No, but it's been good. Yeah, I think for me going through the weeks, as I said, I shared this a little bit last week. It's just the depth of some of these things that we tend to brush over, and we just read it because we know it so well. And I think that's about even, I suppose, the last couple of months in life. Life has been something we've sort of been brushing over, and now we've had so much in such a short period of time taken away. You start to appreciate, oh man, maybe I need to pay a bit more attention to life. Maybe the things that I thought were valuable, maybe that's not that they're not valuable, but maybe where they are on my list, I just need to readjust that a little bit. I don't know. Have you found over the past weeks you've made an adjustment to your priority list?
Yes. Yeah, I'm starting to a lot more, because as I see the world kind of devolve into chaos, I'm asking myself, well, what was my contribution to that chaos or to that order? And because I believe every word that's spoken, if it is not done so in a way that is well balanced and where the truth of what you're saying is clear to everyone, you're just adding to more confusion. And so I want to engage the world in a way that doesn't lead to people wondering, like, well, he's for this, but does that mean he's for this and for that and for that? I want to leave like no questions. Like, and I want my conversation with everybody in the world to be crystal clear as to where I stand, and to be as loving in that way as possible. Otherwise, I feel like we're going to lose more. Like I feel like as everything's falling apart, it's causing me to be more disciplined and being someone that speaks the truth to people in love as much as I can. And individually, I think works best. To do it like just online or whatever, like people can misconstrue you 1,000 different ways.
Yeah. And so along the way, if you remember, we had, on one week, we had Gail and Wyan join us from the C3 church here in Bali, which is great to have them. And I gave a shout out last week, but for Wyan's birthday, I won't tell you how old he is, but he's joined the club, or I am. But I went around on Monday and took some very healthy cinnamon scrolls around to his place to celebrate his birthday, which were very, very nice. So, but a big shout out to Gail and Wyan. But having them on was really good. And, that week we looked at, I think you were sharing that week, that was on that, discipline, putting discipline in your life. And not discipline from, like a parent to a child type discipline, but if you want something and you want to achieve something good in life, then there's disciplines that you put in to actually do
Right.
that. If you want to learn something, there's discipline to study. If you want to become fit, then there's discipline to exercise. If you want to, if you've been eating too much and you want to lose weight, there's discipline to actually control that. But just
And
looking at those...
if you want to have a family that lasts and kids that love you, there's ways that you do love, as it says in 1 Corinthians 13, that love is patient and kind, and doesn't carry a record of wrong, and love is what else? Gentle. What does the rest of it say? But those are the main ones. Love never fails. Does love ever fail in your life? For me, that is probably the greatest thing you could build in this life. It's a family. And if you're not
that list,
you don't get to have that.
Yeah. I mean, just going through that list, and if you went down and said, am I that? Well, I could probably say sometimes, if you looked at each, but I don't think I could say, well, I'm consistently that. Am I consistently patient? Well, no, there are times when I'm not. Am I consistently kind? Well, no, I'm not. Am I consistently, what was it one? Keeps no record of wrongs, Am I doing that? Am I a person who can forgive? Or am I someone who's, okay, I'm going to remember that, jealous, boastful, am I, all these things, and so I think that's a real litmus test that you can apply to your own life. And so, we had them on. It was great. We had John. He came on. So shout out to John and Made. If they're on, haven't seen whether they've jumped on today. I have actually seen that Andy's on, PJ's on, Miles is on. Hey, great to have you, Miles. A great friend of mine for many, many years. Good to have you on. But we had John join us, and that was like though I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, where things get a bit tough, get a bit rough. That fact that we don't fear, that's hard. Because we like to be in control. We say that, no, it's all good, but we love to keep control. And when we don't have control, fear can actually overwhelm us and take us.
Yeah. I mean, like the 300, they were in the valley of the shadow of death, in the battle of Thermopylae. The Greeks there, that was, it seemed like they never had any fear. When I watched the movie, very disciplined in that.
Yeah. And so that was good to have John join us. Who else do we have join us? I'm just trying to... John from the UK joined us just the other week. And, we looked at... I'm trying to remember the passage that we looked at. I've just gone out of my mind. My cup overflows. That's the one, yes. So have you've been filling anyone's coming to the house cup so it spills over onto the table? Have you been doing that, Josh?
No, I have not done that yet. Have not made enough coffee or had guests before the coffee overflow. And that would be a really big gesture. Like, you don't understand. If I wasted coffee in my house, that would not be, they would definitely need to feel a lot of love if I did that. So.
Well, Joe probably wouldn't want you to do it on our table, because if I drop a little bit, then that's like... Cool. But so I don't know about everyone else what their favourite moment has been, but we've got to this last statement, and we're just going to have a quick look at this before we jump into the Zoom room. But this last statement, as it finishes off Psalm 23, which is just only 6 verses, is, "And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forevermore." Amazing statement just to finish it off, just a real positive statement, a real confidence statement. And so just give me some thoughts there, Josh, on what, as we come to this end, as you know, if you were David writing this, and it's only, and this, you're putting your thoughts together, and this is the last thought on the page that you put. Yeah. What are you trying to express right in that moment?
Surely, this is surely I will dwell, right?
Yeah, I think many, yeah.
Surely
the
I will dwell
has a good
in the Lord forever. How many of us, or how many people that you know that are kind of Christians, not really walking in faith, but like they like what you're saying, they like your influence in their life. How many of them can say, "Surely I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever"? I think that's a really important question you ask your friends. Can you say, are you sure that you are with God and you're going to be with him forever after you die as well? I know that this is more about his presence, like you're saying, but still, do you have the confidence? And it takes, being with people that are of the same mind, that are fellowshipping with you, and that you're worshiping together and you're in his presence, that's what would make you say, "Surely I am in his house forever." But still, it makes me ask us as a body, can we surely say that we dwell in the house of the Lord forever? And those that are on the edge of faith, can you ask them, do you surely know for sure? Do you know for sure that if you die tonight, you go to heaven? Do you know for sure that you walk in the presence of God? And if not, can you make peace with God? And can you acknowledge your sin like David did? David acknowledged his sin when he fell. And he asked for forgiveness from God, and he made his heart right, and was continuously in pursuit of the presence of God. So that's what I think, and that's what I hope for all of us, is that we usher people into the presence of God by making them consider the heart work that needs to be done for that to happen. And to ask them about sin, ask them about, do they feel heavy laden with the shame and the sin of the world, and to be those that are be those that are bringing the ministry of reconciliation with God, reconciling people with God. So I can say that this is true for me. Surely I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I can say that. Can you say that? Can your friends say that?
Yeah.
Do you want to go help them?
Yeah.
That's what I think this verse is bringing to us as a body.
Yeah. It's a real confidence statement from David, and it's being sure and knowing that he belongs to the shepherd. As we looked right at the start, the very first statement, "The Lord is my shepherd," just that knowing who you are and who has you in his hands. And that's a real, a confident statement by David. You alluded to it just in that, and as we look at this, I think sometimes when we can read this, the word in there is, "I will dwell in the house of the Lord forevermore." And I think sometimes we can, without really knowing it, we start to just think about a physical place. And so we can associate this, and "I will dwell in this physical place." It takes away a bit of the personal and makes it impersonal, when really the better translation, I suppose, of this scripture is, "I will dwell in the presence of God," which becomes now back to that personal, which is what this passage has been about all along, this personal relationship that the shepherd has with the sheep. And it's not just something, sometimes when you look at "I'll dwell in the house," we can also perceive it as something that's happening in the future. I've just got to get through my life now. I've just got to get through everything that's happening now. And if I've done everything right, then one day, and that's something that's down the track. But when we look at it, "I'll dwell in the presence of God," that brings it, yes, into the personal, but it brings it also into the presence. And so what's David saying? I'm dwelling with God already. He walks with me now, and I will dwell with him now and forevermore. And wherever my steps take me beyond this point, so to speak, beyond Psalm 23, he will be with me. I will dwell in the presence of God forevermore. It's not just this moment in time that's maybe in the future, or it's an impersonal thing. It's actually really personal and really present and really now. And so I think that's what I love about how this ends. It's the whole thing has been personal and ends on this really personal statement at the end. And I think, for me, I don't want to just bring it down to just one point, but I think, everything that's gone before has been absolutely fantastic. But this statement is to me, is like a great thing. Yeah, okay. This is the journey we've been on with the shepherd. It's a journey that David spoke about, which was a yearly cycle from the shepherd's point of view. And David's saying that's the journey of life. It goes round. We go through mountains. We're on the top, we're on the bottom. It becomes summer, there's winter, there's autumn, there's spring. We go through all these seasons. We don't just experience them once, but we experience them over and over again. And the shepherd is with us through all of those. And it's a cycle that is repeating, and he will consistently get us through. No matter what the season throws at us, he will get us through. He'll get us through. And so I think this is an absolutely awesome way to finish off this thing on Psalm 23. Any last comments you want to make, Josh, just before we head over into the Zoom room?
No, I think that's pretty good. I think we hit it well. So, but it
Cool.
was a real pleasure, and I'm really glad that you did it. And you did have your doubters, but we followed you, and I'm happy we did, and it's been a great time. So thanks so much.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your input, Josh. So if you've just only joined us recently, we're just about to head over. If you've never been with us before on a Sunday afternoon, hey, I should have said right at the start, welcome, but what we do after here, this is the sort of the live part of it, the stream part, which we really can't interact with you, although I'm looking at who's online, so I've been trying to do this far more today than other weeks. But Amanda is watching from Australia. I've got a lot of people from Australia, by the way, joining today. Come on.
G'day, mate.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Josh. You're doing all right.
I was complimenting all of their eyes, not both of them. One of them.
We'll get you to be an Australian one day, Josh. We'll get you there. But Katie's joined us on board. Katie, how you doing? Haven't seen you for ages. Hope you're doing really well. Christine is on board. I wonder if it's her and the whole family. You may have met Christine, Josh. I'm not too sure whether you have, but her and her husband Ray came. They did dental work. John and Made weren't around, but we took her husband Ray as a dentist, and we went up to Munduk and did a whole heap of... That was a crazy day. I was like the dental assistant trying to sterilise all the things, but it was
You're like a pile of teeth, right?
It was like... Oh my goodness. It was a fantastic day. So Christine's on board. So hi, Christine, to you. But if you want to join the conversation more, Joe, are you in the Zoom room at the moment? Joe is already there at the moment. So on the bottom of the screen, and if you had have seen, even in the feed, I think I put right in the feed at the top a link that you should be able to click on, either if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, and you'll be able to go into the Zoom room. So Joe's there right now. Josh, you and I are going to join there in just a minute. We'd love for you to join the conversation there. We're going to chat there for about another half hour, and so we'd love for you to join us there. Other than that, thanks, Josh, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Love having you on board. I'm going to see if we can try and get Taryn on again next week. Love having Taryn on board, so we're just going to twist her arm. I think we're having dinner with her on Thursday night, so I've got to twist her arm, get her on board again. So... But I'm going to say bye to you, Josh, and so if you want to just say bye, and then I'll say bye to everyone else. But good to have you, Josh.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, citizens of the world and brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, I'll see you.
Strong.
Yeah, I'll see you in the Zoom room very shortly.
All right.
No worries, man. Catch you soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, for all of you who joined us today, I hope you've enjoyed the chat. We've had just a real, sort of overview of where we've been, and so I hope there's something you've grabbed out of that. We're just about to head into the Zoom room, and so we'd love for you to join us. The number there is on the bottom, 862 7748 77 399. Is that correct? I think it's right. There looks like there be too many numbers there. Maybe there is. I better check that. Better check the Zoom room number to make sure. Can you just pass me my phone? I better do that now rather than if you. Oh, Dave's come on. Awesome. So if Dave's on, it must be the right thing. So Dave's on board. Come and join us in the Zoom room. If you're not watching this live, don't come to the Zoom room because we won't be there. This is only for those that are watching live. So other than that, thank you so much. I'm glad you joined One Heart Online. We hope you have a fantastic week. Catch up with everything we're doing week. On Tuesday, I've got a great coffee and chat coming out. It's actually a friend of mine who's back in Australia, runs a great company. His name's Tim. So we're going to put that up on Tuesday. Other than that, love to have you join us during the week. See ya. Bye.